What's up guys, it's Otsu, and today I have my deck profile for my Dragonic Overlord The End. You saw this deck in action last week, in last Friday night's card fight. And yeah, I'm a day late, I didn't get a chance to upload my video, and so now I'm just using my phone, and I'm just going to record this and upload it straight to YouTube, so no editing or anything like that. And before I get to my deck, I want to advertise my Instagram. So those people that aren't hip to Instagram yet, it's a cell phone app for pictures and stuff. And so the name of mine is just StandUPTHE Vanguard, same as my YouTube channel. So I use that as like an outlet to show some of my experimental decks, because I don't usually like to show deck profiles until they're like tried and true, you know, like play tested all the way and like near the final build. So for decks that I have in mind, like ideas, I just post those on Instagram. Like I've posted like my Magatsu Storm deck, which I posted at the time. It was like it's still no draw, but 6 crit, 6 stands. So now it's running 12 crits, and so I'm playtesting that. And I also posted like my Luxac.deck Pelennor Gold Paladin deck, which is a really fun deck to play. You're just trying to top deck Pelennor the entire time. So yeah, so that's going through playtesting. I posted that on Instagram. And I'm working on like a 16 crit Bermuda deck, so that'll probably be posted on Instagram sometime soon. So yeah, just click the link down below and follow me on Instagram. And so getting to the deck, so yeah, usually I have it all laid out, but since I'm on my phone, I just decided to do it the most common way and just show you guys card by card. So Conroe, starter, not much to say about there. You know, toolbox grade 1, really good. 4, Dragonic Overlord The Ends. Awesome card, everyone knows about him. And 4, Dragonic Overlords, regulars. So, awesome rear guard. 4 Burning Horn Dragons, pretty standard. Works really well in Kagero because most of the grade 1s are 6k, so with Burning Horn hits for 18k. So this is where my deck gets a little different. Usually you'll see people run the Hallums or 10k vanillas. So in this one I run Strikens instead. And Striken, like, yeah, his downside, he doesn't let you draw an additional card, but he like prevents your opponent from having damage to counterblast with. And if he wants to do damage to you, it forces him to commit to the field, sort of, like play extra boosters. And then, so when you ride your grade 3, especially if you're able to ride the end over him, and he'll most likely let it go through because he wants the 2 damage. And so you have a chance of getting a critical trigger to hit him for 3 damage. And then if you have the end, you have a chance at Persona Blasting. And it is possible, like in one game, I did, on turn 3, when I rode the end, Overstriken, I did 7 damage to him from 0 to 7 in one turn. Damage, drive checked the critical trigger, Persona Blasted, and drive checked another crit. So, good times were had. But obviously, you're not going to get that every single time. So Striken is a fun card to play. And also, just, you know, in the rear guard, he's still a 10k vanilla, so exactly the same as Nahalem. I play 2 Bellicosity Dragons. I like playing him for early game, because if I use Conroe, it allows me to get a free Conroe skill. And also, if he does go off, then I can sit at 2 damage and guard early, and still have 2 counterblasts open for my Persona Blast, instead of having to put myself at 3 damage in order to use my counterblast for the Persona Blast. So that's the only reason I'm running 2 of him. And then 1 Tejas. Tejas is good because even if you don't have boosters to play behind him, he can still hit things usually, so hit things in the back row, and still kind of, you know, if your opponent drive checks a bunch of grade 2s or something like that, you know, he's going to want to save his boosters, so you can target his boosters that way. So that was 11 grade 2s and 8 grade 3s. So grade 1s, 4 bars, yeah, 8k vanillas, works great. 4 perfect guards, you know, in the meta with cross rides and then soon to be break rides, gonna need to defend. Played 3 Ermos. So even with Conroe in my deck, I like to have 3 air modes because I'd rather draw into them than have to use my Conroe on air mode every single time. I like to have the option of Conroe, using Conroe for getting something that I really need, like at the time, instead of just targeting air mode every time. So if I need a berry, I can get him, or if I need an extra bar, I can get bar. And hopefully I draw into air modes instead. And then also having more than one air mode behind your units, you know, it does help sometimes when you need to filter your hands even more. And then I play 3 Kimnaras. I like Kimnaras for his instant gratification. Like if there's just something I really need to kill, you know, I can just kill it. And then with the Bellicosities, I can hopefully unflip the damage that I use for Kimnara. And so that's 14 grade 1s. And then my triggers, 4 heals, 4 draws, Gatling Claw Dragon, awesome draw trigger. Running stands. Stands in this deck I really like, especially this one because it can, I'm making a mess here, because it could potentially kill those really nice grade 0s like that your opponent might have. And then also if you go first and then by your turn 2 you want to play this, like if they don't want their grade 0 to be killed, then you know they have to block, but at the same time it doesn't give them a counterblast to you. So if you're playing against another Kagero deck that has Conroe, so if they block because they don't want their Conroe to be killed, that also stops them from getting a damage to use the counterblast in order to use Conroe. So it kind of works, you know, 2 ways, so has its uses. And then plus stands work well in this deck because all my rear guards hit for good numbers, so you have 11k rear guards and 12k hitters. And then like Bellicosity Dragon, a lot of times they'll try to guard him, so it gives a Bellicosity Dragon a second time to hit if they block the first time. And then also another little combo is with the end. And then if you get his Persona Blast off and you hit a stand trigger, then you can stand the booster and, you know, attack for another really huge number. So if you get like a critical trigger onto him and they don't have a perfect guard, they gotta drop a lot of cards to block that extra critical. And then lastly, 4 crits, because crits help you win the game. It's just the way it is, and that is Vanguard. Crits are Vanguard. So that's my trigger lineup. Rainbows, 4 of each trigger types. So yeah, that is my deck profile for Dragonic Overlord The End. Pretty standard, just a couple changes like Strike-ins and maybe Bellicosity Dragons. No Heat Nail Salamanders. I just felt like I like the instant gratification better with Kimnara instead of Heat Nails, but the deck's always evolving, I guess, so Heat Nails might find their way later on, but I don't think anytime soon. So once again, check out my Instagram for other random things going on in my life regarding Vanguard, and subscribe and stay tuned for next week's or this Friday's Friday night card fight to see this deck against a brand new deck that I'll be profiling for you guys. Alright, thanks for watching.